Hello and welcome to my channel, CJ Writes Books and Horror. And this video is continuing my Stephen King series as I review Cujo, published in 1981. The blurb in this book is inside in the front cover, and it reads, outside a peaceful town in central Maine, a monster is waiting. Cujo is a 200-pound St. Bernard, the best friend Brett Camber has ever had. One day, Cujo chases a rabbit down a bolt hole, a cave inhabited by some very sick bats. What happens to Cujo, how he becomes a horrifying vortex, inexorably drawing in all the people around him, makes one of the most heart-stopping novels Stephen King has written. The story of Cujo centers mainly around two sets of families. The first set is Vic, Donna, and Tad Trenton. Vic runs a advertising agency that is going through a very, very difficult time with their main client. This means that his focus is on that rather than on his home life, and his marriage is suffering because of it, although he appears to be oblivious to that fact. His wife Donna is a typical bored housewife. She started an affair with a local handsome tennis player by the name of Steve Kemp, and to her credit, I suppose, at the beginning of the book she decides to end the affair, though Steve doesn't seem to take the rejection very well. And they have a 4-year-old son called Tad, who is pretty much just a normal, typical 4-year-old boy. The second family are Joe, Charity, and Brett Camber, and their dog Cujo. Joe is a local mechanic. He's extremely abusive to his wife, though he does seem devoted to his son. Charity, like Donna, is a typical housewife, though she represents the working class American housewife, where Donna is more of middle class. Charity has had enough of her husband's abuse and hatches a plan to escape by visiting her sister, who lives in a different state, and taking Brett with her. The story being so he can spend time with that side of his family, and it will also leave Joe with time to himself. Brett is 10 years old, and he loves his father very much, though he does understand that Joe gets angry at times, though may not fully comprehend everything that's going on. He has his pet dog, the large St. Bernard named Cujo, and him and Brett are pretty much inseparable through most of the book, and trying to get Brett away from Cujo so she can kind of escape her horrible home life is one of the problems that Charity has to overcome in order to basically get away. Cujo himself is known in the area as a kind of a big teddy bear type of dog. He's not really fierce, as he appears to be at first glance, though when he goes nosing around, dogs do, and chases the rabbit into a hole in the ground, he gets scratched by the rabies infected bats, and that kind of turns him basically from his usual placid self, and basically makes him go insane and starts attacking anyone that comes anywhere near him. In the second half of the book, the story ramps up the tension when Donna takes Tad with her to the Gambler's house so Joe can fix her car. The car dies as they pull in front of the property, and as it's a very hot day, and they're trapped inside the car by Cujo, who is infected with the rabies by this point, and he will attack Donna if she tries to escape the car. They're pretty much stuck, and the story really is whether Donna can escape the car along with Tad and get to safety before they basically roast alive inside the car. The only other character I really want to talk about is Steve Kemp, the man that Donna was having an affair with. His actions in the book I find the most puzzling. After Donna breaks it off with him at the beginning of the book, he doesn't take it very well, to such an extent that Donna thinks that he is going to rape her right there in the kitchen, but he doesn't. He does decide to get his own back on her, first by telling her husband about the affair by sending him an anonymous note, and then he decides to come back later to the Trenton house, but on finding it empty, he trashes the place. What I don't buy is that Steve is supposed to be this handsome, athletic guy that all the ladies fantasize about. So his actions don't make any sense. If it's a matter of pride, Donna quietly breaks it off with him in her own kitchen. They're both alone, and no one else knows what's happened. And to get back at her, sending the note to Vic, though it was childish, should have been enough, really. I mean, you know, if it was a matter of pride, all he had to do was make out that he broke it off with her. I mean, no one's going to know any different. If she questions it, he can just gaslight her, you know, and just be more convincing that he was the one that ended it than rather than she did. He acts completely like a petulant child when he comes back to the house, finds it empty, and starts trashing the place. The upshot of that is that he gets done with criminal damage to the house. He gets himself into far more trouble than the inconvenience it would have caused Donna. And he's decided to leave town anyway, so no one's going to know, no one's going to care. So what was the point of him doing it? His actions are completely immature and completely pointless. And I don't buy that a guy like that, who is handsome, athletic, and favoured of all the ladies, would resort to those kind of methods just to get his own back. It was completely pointless. So that's my review of Cujo. I try to keep as many spoilers out as possible, and on Goodreads I gave it 3 stars. So what did you think of Cujo? If you've read it, please let me know in the comment section down below. Remember to like this video and to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.